Hi, this is Ray from soyachinchao.com and welcome to another episode of ICYMI where we bring you the latest tech news that mattered today in case you missed it. The Redmi Note 7 is now available in Malaysia from Mobile to Go. However, this is an import set, also known as the AP set, which means this is not covered by Xiaomi Malaysia's warranty. So there are two variants available. The base model with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage is priced at 1,038 ringgit, while the higher spec version with 6 gigs of RAM and also 64 gigs of storage will be priced at 1,138 ringgit. The device comes with a 6.3-inch Full HD Plus display, a Snapdragon 660 processor, and also a 4,000 mAh battery that charges via a USB-C. For photos, the device will come with a 48-megapixel main camera and also a 5-megapixel secondary camera for bokeh effects. Besides that, it also has a 13-megapixel camera for selfies. But this is not all we have on the Redmi Note 7 because we actually have a device here in our office and Rory's gonna unbox it.
What? Thanks, Ray. Apparently, I'm unboxing the Redmi Note 7 right now. But that's okay because I kinda like the Redmi Note series of smartphones. So, we'll begin this unboxing with a bit of a story. So the Redmi Note 5, when it first launched last year, it was by far and away the best smartphone you could get for the money that you paid. Even though it faced like stiff competition from the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1, I always thought that the Redmi Note 5 was a bit better. It was a bit more expensive, but it was a bit better. So that made it worth the slightly higher price. But then as time went on, or as the year went on, we saw new players like Realme with the Realme 2 Pro and even Asus with their own updated Zenfone Max Pro M2 sort of leapfrogged the Redmi Note 5. So they introduced more powerful processors like the Snapdragon 660 instead of the Snapdragon 636 that you'd find on the Redmi Note 5. And then when Xiaomi launched the Redmi Note 6 Pro, we were all like, what's this? It's the same processor just with a notch. So that was a bit confusing. It felt like Xiaomi was a bit out of touch or a little slow to the party. But then came the Redmi Note 7. So as you may notice, this is a brand new phone and it is void of all Xiaomi branding. That's because Redmi is no longer just a Xiaomi smartphone, it is now its very own sub-brand. I mean, it's still Xiaomi in the sense that it still uses Xiaomi's distribution and servicing and after sales, and you can buy them in Xiaomi shops, but it is sort of its own sub-brand now, if that matters to you. But the most interesting thing about this smartphone is that it finally evens the playing field. And honestly, if I'm looking at the kind of specs and the kind of features that you get with this device, it might even have the edge over the current competition. So I'm pretty psyched to check it out. So let's start the unboxing. Oh, so I haven't actually seen this device yet. Oh, before I begin, so the Redmi Note 7 actually isn't available in Malaysia just yet. So this is actually an import set courtesy of Mobile to Go. So if you want to buy that smartphone, you can head on over to Mobile to Go to pick yours up. But keep in mind, this is an import set, also otherwise known as an AP set. So Xiaomi Malaysia's official warranty won't cover it. But Mobile to Go will give you a 1-year warranty for this smartphone. So without further ado, let us... Okay, so we have right off the bat a case. It's a slightly dark gray case, so it's not just your usual white or translucent see-through. I like the dark one more. I'm glad Xiaomi went with this approach, honestly. Some paperwork that sort of fell out. Everything's in Chinese, so I can't read Chinese. But then you have the phone. Huh, Redmi Note 7. Oh my gosh, you know what this reminds me of? This actually looks like the the P20, doesn't it? It has that same kind of design. Okay, it's actually the first time I'm seeing this smartphone in the wild. So this experience is as new to me as it is to you. But hang on. Let me do this properly. Did you hear that? Oh yeah. Maybe I should consider a career in ASMR. I apologize for everyone who has already turned off by now. Oh! Redmi by Xiaomi. See what I mean by it being its own brand? Yeah. Okay, well that powers up. Let's take a look at the rest of the box. So there's like a divider thing here. There is a power cable, useful, and a power brick. Since it's an imported set, it's actually got the Chinese 2-pin setup. That's kind of like the American one, but without the hole. So you're going to need to use an adapter if you want to charge with this power brick. But I mean, you can just use like a normal quick charge. So now, let's look at the phone. Ooh. So as you can see, the Redmi Note 7 opts for this water drop style notch. I'm not a big fan of the water drop style notch, to be honest. And honestly, there are quite the bezels around it. Like, look at that. That's quite a fat bezel, if you ask me. For a smartphone that's supposed to have minimal bezels, it actually looks pretty chunky. But at least the notch is tiny, so if you don't like the notch, then yeah, this is a good compromise. It's not a slider phone or a punch hole display, which is kind of disappointing. But then again, this is like a sub 1,000 ringgit smartphone. So I mean, we're not really expecting that much here. So let me just set this up real quick. Wow, so this is a pretty big change to the Redmi Note line of smartphones, because usually those devices are all either metal or plastic, or this is glass. This is actually 2.5D glass, so it's slightly curved at the edges to give you a more comfortable grip in the hand. And the front is actually Corning's Gorilla Glass 5, which is pretty impressive for a smartphone at this price point. But one thing that I am noticing is that there is sort of like a little lump that sort of bulges up from the chassis of the smartphone, which sort of makes it really kind of quite ugly. I think that's what adds to the bezel as well, so I'm not a huge fan of that. I think the Redmi Note 5 actually does this better, even though that has fatter bezels. But I guess the trade-off is that you get thinner bezels all around and a slightly slimmer chin. So it depends on your preference whether you like that or not. So obviously it's running MIUI. It's running MIUI 10, which is the latest one, built on top of Android 9. So one of the differences here is that now it has a larger screen. Now this is 6.3 inches and it's still a Full HD Plus resolution, but you get more screen real estate and it's pretty tall and pretty nice. I mean, I've never had a problem with Redmi's screens before. They were always serviceable enough, so this isn't much of a difference. Though it does feel a bit taller, but I can't confirm if it's actually taller. Can someone confirm if it's taller? Is it taller? We'll put it in text here. It'll be like, huh. Okay, so the headline feature of the Redmi Note 7 is the brand new Snapdragon 660 processor. So the old one had a Snapdragon 636. The Redmi Note 5 and Redmi Note 6 Pro both have a Snapdragon 636, which is sort of like the mid-range processor. This is sort of an upper mid-range processor, so it's more capable and should be better for gaming overall. This is then paired with 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage, so you can choose to upgrade or add even more storage to the micro SD card slot. Let me check if it's dedicated or not, actually. That is a good point. Always carry a SIM unlock tool with you. It is a hybrid tray, unfortunately, so you have to sacrifice SIM 2 if you want to include a micro SD card. Boo. And the next big upgrade you'll see, besides the new glass and sort of metal body, is the camera. So now it features a 48 megapixel camera, main camera at the back, with a 5 megapixel secondary sensor for depth effects. But the main 48 megapixel sensor is from Samsung, and it is their new GM1 ISO sensor with an f1.8 aperture lens. So this should mean that it's going to be quite the capable camera, or quite a capable smartphone camera. I mean, real Redmi Note 5 was already a pretty good camera for its price, so the fact that they're upgrading this right now with the Redmi Note 7 is even better. There's also a fingerprint scanner mounted at the back, and inside, even though it has a new body, it still retains the large 4,000 mAh battery. But I think the best part about it is now they've actually upgraded the port. So if you can see there, it's actually a USB Type-C port, which is really, really rare in this price point. This is a sub 1,000 ringgit smartphone, and you're getting a USB Type-C port with support for Quick Charge 4. So you actually be able to use Quick Charge 4 power bricks or power adapters to charge this smartphone quickly. It just reminds me, let me check and see if this is Quick Charge. It is not. So unfortunately, they don't bundle a fast charger or a Quick Charge 4 charger. Instead, you have the standard 10 watt fast charger, I guess, 5 volt, 2 amps. So it's a pretty standard one. You might want to pick up like something from a third-party vendor if you want really fast charging. And actually that's it for the highlight specs. So you have quite a significant upgrade over here with a better main camera, or theoretically better main camera, a much better processor, while retaining stuff like the large battery and the Full HD screen. And now you're also getting a USB Type-C port, which is pretty good news for this kind of price bracket. Things that I don't like about it, I'm not a huge fan of the build. Traditionally, glass and metal builds give a smartphone a more premium feel. And while I do agree, it suffers from the same kind of problem that I had with the Galaxy A8 from 2017, I believe, where you have the thin bezel approach, but it actually looks really big when coupled with the rounded metal frame. So it's not the premium experience that I was expecting from this smartphone. But then again, this is not a premium smartphone. This is a super affordable device with super great specs. So honestly, the build isn't a huge deal for me. I'm not a huge fan of them sacrificing sort of the Redmi look with this new P20 or Honor 8X inspired look, with the text sort of coming out at the side. AI dual camera, 48 megapixel. I think that's like, why did you have to look like some other phone? But I mean, it's not ugly, I would say. It is a lot more of a fingerprint magnet than the Redmi Note 5, but it feels still very robust. It has a nice weight to it, I'm guessing thanks to the large 4000 mAh battery. And honestly, it's not a bad body for the kind of price that you're going to be paying for this smartphone. But unfortunately, the Redmi Note 7 isn't officially available in Malaysia just yet. So if you want to get one right now, you're going to have to get one of these, which is an import set, an AP set. You can pick one up from Mobile To Go, who are also kind enough to send us this unit to check out early, but you will be paying a bit of a premium because on Mobile To Go, this device is priced at 1,038 ringgit, for the base model with 4 gigs of RAM, while the 6 gigs of RAM version is priced at 1,138 ringgit. It's slightly more expensive, but honestly, for the kind of specs you're getting, it's still an okay price. Though personally, I would wait for the original set because then you get official Xiaomi Malaysia warranty and probably a lower price tag. And that's it for me with this early unboxing and checking out of the Redmi Note 7. Let me know what you want me to find out, or if you have any questions about this device, leave them in the comments below and either me or Ray will get to your questions. We'll do our best to answer everything that you have. And if you want to see more content like this, let us know. Like, do you want to see like a comparison or a review or whatever? Just, drop them in the comments below and we will do our best to give you the kind of content that you want. But that's it from me at our lab. Now, it's back to the studio.
Thanks, Rory. And that's all from us. If you want to learn more about the Redmi Note 7, the links are in the description. So you can leave us a comment. We would like to hear from you. And that's basically it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also hit the notification bell icon so that you'll be informed whenever we post a new video. So do check out our latest video on Mi Mix 3 review here. And also last episode of ICYMI here. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!